And we're back.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I think this is like episode 7 or 8 of this Saturday. This has been a very long.
A long ass set. It's a long ass Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, true. Either way, this isn't my lines anymore, baby.
Yeah, I know. We exit City Hall and are instantly greeted by a slew of faces.
Hey, guess who's already here, Harry?
Damn. Who's this punk ass awesome character?
So that's Micah. He's the bat. He will be the main side character in Jenna's route.
This is a load of fresh shit, you know that?
Kudzu!
What do you mean when you say we can't leave?
Damn.
Kudzu!
My boy!
Shut up.
Best
Not
friend.
you two, Harrison.
I'm
Honestly,
literally the two characters who are talking.
I don't
Cry
give a
about it.
shit, Harry.
I do want to say though, out of like the 5 side characters, Kudzu and Micah are my favorite of like them. Daxton's
Dude,
really
she
cool
seems-
too. I do love Daxton, but like Micah is hilarious to me, and Kudzu's just fucking amazing. So
She seems
I
like
don't
she's gonna be
know.
great. I
Micah,
It's
really
a
like
he.
her outfit.
yeah, Micah's a he.
He?
Yeah. He just wears
That
his very,
that's
very
all.
tight, juicy booty shorts. Let Micah
Alright.
have his own
Nice.
fashion preferences.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone seems to be gathered around the front entrance, the headlights from half a dozen cars lighting us up as we exit.
Light him up.
Most eyes are on Auntie. Mara has this sort of smoky tinge to it, like someone's cooking something. I wonder if it's from the fire I saw earlier.
Y'all came here because you wanted answers now. Are you gonna listen to them or not?
Yeah, when we're out of town.
I recognize most of the people in the crowd. Janice, Duke, Kudzu, Micah, Heather, Mark, and shit about a dozen more. Some of them look downright terrified.
So yeah, like about a third of the town has gathered here. Because remember, they have like a population of less than 50.
Doesn't they all start, and then they just all start shooting each other right here.
No, these are the people who have not completely snapped yet. Which, in this route, still includes Duke and Janice for some reason.
Huh.
Or at least those that haven't snapped enough to be very obviously snapped.
Gotcha.
Others like Micah and Klepto Shithead from Tetanus Alley looks pissed, agitated by whatever the hell Auntie's saying. I can see Duke, the old widower who lives next to Leo, somewhere in the back of by his car. He's not looking at my aunt anymore. He's fixated on Chase with this sort of 1,000-yard stare. In the back of the crowd, I see the lumbering figure of Leo. Side of us, he pushes his way through.
Chase!
Leo stops, rubbing the back of his neck and looking off to the side as he notes the otter's state of undress.
You're back! And you're naked.
Chase has this weird sort of look on his face, like he's never seen Leo before in his life. Like this is some incredibly awkward encounter with a stranger.
Yeah. Black Widow bit me.
And then made you... naked?
Leo turns, looking to me suspiciously. Fuck you, I didn't do it. God, I have no
You
time to
kinda
waste
do it.
anymore. I didn't do it this time.
Well, no. Well, his actions eventually led him to do that, so he did kind of. Just
See?
not directly.
Semantics. Semantics.
Where'd
Leo's
you do
brow-
my baby?
Fucking nothing. Locked him in a room, that's it.
Do I know this guy?
Leo's brow furrows. I keep expecting him to jolt out his arm and slug me, but he looks tired and confused.
I sat in a nest of a whole bunch of them, and they got everywhere.
That's awful. Are you alright?
Leo brings his large paw up to Chase's shoulder. Chase flinches and the wolf quickly realizes his grasp, giving the otter a quizzical look.
I'm okay. Well, not really, but you know.
He rubs the bite area of on his neck, biting his cheek as he stares at the gravel between his feet.
Oh no, Chase. We need to get you to a doctor. But I have to ask, why'd you run off earlier?
I didn't mean to. I just did.
Chase, that doesn't make any sense, yeah?
Auntie begins to speak up again.
Let's talk plain like. Most of y'all are seeing things. Bad things. And some folk around here have started acting real strange. More so than the usual suspects on their bouts with the happy juice. And nobody's getting any tower or satellite signals for the phones and internet. Landline's fuzzy too.
A couple of people nod. Micah's now looking over his shoulder, seemingly unfocused on what Auntie is saying.
Mark tried to head off to Peyton to see if the county offices knew what was going on.
What was that sound?
Yeah, we heard that.
The idea of the sound of a happy and comfortable dog.
Well, a dog that is deep in sleep. A dog
Okay.
that is very deep in sleep.
Randall Ball. Randall.
I'll just let the guy sleep.
That's the dude.
No, I am. I'm hoping to give him good dreams. He's so out cold that this won't wake him up. It'll just make him dream of those things.
Hopefully.
Deanna, do you remember that time that we played ball while eating food on a long walk?
Alright, that's enough. Alright.
Sweet dreams there, buddy.
He got about as far as the Flynn turnoff before he found himself on the old Route 65 leading back into town. He tells me he tried 3 times to get through, no luck. Now I would have slapped him on the head with a roll of newspaper and told him to take his clowning to the circus. If I hadn't heard the same sort of thing from my grandpa decades ago. Folk traveling in buggies trying to escape the madness of this town. But they got snared in one hell of a web. So if you've been thinking of your dreams been getting real queer as of late, you ain't alone. It's been getting worse. Honestly, I was packing my bags to get out before it hit.
I wasn't ready to leave. I remember telling Auntie that I wanted to stay for Carl's interview, but I wanted to also see if I could get into the bottom of the shit with TJ too.
So you're saying there's no way out? That we're in, what? An inescapable bubble? Sweetheart, it's like the tide. If it goes in, it's pulled out. And sometimes it pulls stuff with it. My grandpa, God rest his soul, told me it was attracted to the uncouthness of man, the ires and desires with which we cannot unshackle ourselves.
So my assumption here is that her grandpa is either Porter or Beckett from the smoke room. I'm curious as to which one, though.
Yeah.
Does she seem more like a librarian's granddaughter or like a miner's granddaughter to you guys? Because I could see either way.
Right? That's the
She
problem.
seems like the child of a librarian and a miner.
Well,
Fair.
two brothers aren't going to have a kid together, so...
When a librarian and a miner love each other very
Well,
much, they
a mine
spawn
foreman.
lizards.
Let's be honest, he's a mine foreman.
They
Yeah.
spawn lizards. Peanut butter cookies.
peanut butter cookies
Nice.
are awesome.
Simple,
Hate
simple.
you, Harry.
A mournful look crosses her face as she takes a deep breath.
Mark.
I want you to hear this.
Well, ew, no, stop.
I can't hear anything, so...
I heard burps and weird noises, and it was gross.
That was the sound of me mixing the batter. I put the ball, then I started whisking the ball really close to the mic.
I didn't pick up
I
any
didn't
of that.
hear anything. She looks over to the horned toad, our town's treasure. He's standing by his black four-door SUV. I always made fun of him for buying it. Black cars in the desert ain't a good mix unless you're keen on baking. He reaches into the car and pulls out a lumpy something wrapped in a flamboyantly colored beach towel.
Okay, so if you're squeamish, look away for what's about to be on screen.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Hold on, let me do this. There we go.
I recognize the faded logo in the corner as one from Southwest Adventures. An old souvenir, maybe? Mark Kirk says he steps in the front of the mayor with it, setting it on the ground. First thing I see are the feet sticking out of the end. Someone in the back. Heather, I think, screams. It's a banshee-like wail as Mark pulls back the fabric.
Oh damn, Heather would have been your character, Sam. However, it's not on the screen yet, so I'll just tell you the line. She's screaming, no.
Okay. No!
Now she's screaming, Keith.
Sorry.
It's not Keith. At first it's difficult to tell exactly what I'm looking at, but after a few moments I can clearly see who it is.
And now if you're squeamish, look away.
Yep, not looking.
Ooh, that's fun.
Bacon?
Don't ruin bacon for me, please.
Is his eyes missing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Also, fun fact, this image in like the files is like, look what they've done to my boy. I'm trying to remember, there's like an exact name for it, but like, it's such a silly name.
No, my boy!
It makes me think of Harry Potter. That's my boy!
Oh no, now I remember it was my boar. Look what they've done to my boar. No.
Or
That's Salem. What the fuck?
why are you
Sam,
playing Persona?
maybe turn your volume down, Sam. Also, you have a line, Sam, and once again it's you screaming, Keith!
sorry.
That didn't come through.
Stuff.
Eee!
Jesus.
I'll be TJ, just to make things simple
Okay.
for now. No.
TJ begins to sob as terrified sniffles mixing with Heather's confused shrill cries. The boar is covered in lacerations, most of which are on his face. 2 swipes of whatever cut him seem to have torn his eyes and the part of his snout out. I always thought when someone had their eyes taken out, there'd just be black holes inside, but it's pink. It's like I'm looking at the guy's brain. I feel like I'm gonna hurl.
Alright, it's no longer on screen, Sam. Did she deafen?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I've had muted because of my persona.
Mhm.
Harrison.
Harrison.
I hate everything.
Harrison.
This is the third time I've died. You know what? I'm gonna take a
Peanut
break.
butter cookies are very hard to shape.
Read your lines, Harrison.
What?
Yeah, bitch.
What happened to him?
He tried to leave.
Yeah, but how did that happen to him? I enunciated the
I mean,
wrong
yeah,
line.
like,
That's
it was that. Is But how did that happen?
Yeah, no, but I went, but how? Oh god, I'm so dumb.
It's okay.
You are done, yes. Congrats.
As Kuzo says, like, oh god, I screwed up my line. Bring it back, come on.
Let me have another take at that. Keith gets back up. All right, fuck. Takes his eyes back out.
Oh my god.
No, I like it better that, like, he's the only actor in an actual messed up situation. It's like, I screwed up my line, everybody go back. And, like, the mayor's looking at him like, what the fuck? People are dead, my guy. What are you doing? He's like, no, one more take.
One more take, whatever take. Put it back in the car. The raccoon, who up to this point I've never seen as anything but strong, silent type, looks shaken up bad. He looked at his forehead with a paw, shaking his head.
God, for a second he looked like somebody else.
I barely know Salem. He's a recent move-in who originally squatted on vacant land in an RV until the landowner started making him pay to live there. Kept to himself, never even said 2 words to the guy. That's an accomplishment when you're stuck in a town with just about 50 people still living here.
Mark tells me that the 3rd time he tried to leave, he saw him just laying there on the side of the road next to his RV. Dead as a doorknob. So, to answer your question, Coon Boy, I don't know.
Racist mayor.
These things always end, but there's no clear definition of when or how. I advise, as I do in all trying times, to turn to the higher powers, pray, and repent as you may.
There's a shocked silence from those present. Naxton keeps shaking his head. Jenna tries her phone again. Micah stares off in the dark in the direction of the highway.
Oh, yeah, Matt's not here to be Duke. I'll be Duke. Why not?
Alright.
I know how to make these visions stop.
Weasel steps onto Auntie. No, he's not looking at her.
Yeah? What's your proposal, Duke?
Points a pink finger towards Chase.
We stop him.
Chase sort of half blinks, his bloodshot eyes aimed all unfocused like at Scruffy Weasel.
What?
Can't discern who that voice came from.
This has all happened before.
Looks toward Auntie, who nods inquisitively.
It's only gonna get worse. It happened to my granddaddy, my daddy, and now it's happening to me. Well, me and the rest of yous. Dale's missing. Cynthia drove off into the desert. Glenn and Jeremy are running around, shooting and screaming at nothing. Thing is, we've all got something after us. Something bad. Won't let you leave when it starts.
Harry?
Harrison?
Yeah, well, what's after you?
Raspy voice back chimes up, still looking off in the desert, away from the crowd. Duke's quiet for a moment, rolling a handmade cigarette between his thumb and index finger.
It's always triggered by something.
Duke begins to pace, still pointing Chase.
I seen you here last week, before all the rest of your little friends showed up. Late at night, outside his house.
He nods in Leo's direction, the wolf clasping Chase's shoulder protectively.
Just standing there. For hours and hours. I didn't even need to be asleep to see you.
Last line rings strange. Duke saying it as if it makes perfect sense. Chase's gaze shifts to his feet. His legs begin to tremble.
I'm not on Leo's route, am I?
Legs might be gone, dude.
I'm not saying you did it, or that you were wanting this all to happen.
Steps over Salem's body, approaching the otter.
It's just you gotta know something. Anything that we can use to stop this. Cause anytime I ask big old Leo here, he just got this glazed look in his eye, telling me where I can stick my inquiries. That doesn't make sense. Well, my, something. Someone told me that you would know.
At this point, I see the black metallic shape sticking out from the back of Weasel's trousers. He's got a gun. Thanks to Flinch's seeing it too.
Oh shit.
He mutters, and I feel Carl step closer against me.
Who? Someone I know.
He yells, leaning in closer to Chase. Leo steps completely in front of him, ears down with his fangs bared.
It makes sense. Something bad happens, and if you don't fix it, it won't stop coming after you.
Maybe for you.
Leo's snarl turns into a tight, tepid frown. He looks unnerved, uneasy with Duke. What he's saying.
This is all real timely with your friends showing up. So what happened, Chase? I don't know what you're talking about.
Auntie exchanges a glance with Mark, then they both look to Chase, seemingly unconcerned that Duke is packing.
Things are getting worse out here. And unless we do something, we're all gonna end up like young Salem.
Duke's voice is dead and distant.
He's right.
Auntie's voice cuts through the air like a knife. Next thing I know, her and Mark are stepping out beside Duke.
Flynn, come here.
My heart lurches at hearing my name called. I strain myself to keep a straight face. I try not to look at the body as I walk up, feeling my backside illuminated by a dozen headlights in the gaze of a crowd.
You locked Chase in the reading room with all them spiders. Why? You what?
Didn't know about the spiders at the time. Mumble.
Flynn.
She looks away for a moment.
Wow.
I don't want choices.
Really good. Oh no.
Condemned Chase is really the best option.
I mean,
I don't think
Can
he
I-
wants to. That's the funny thing.
I think condemning Chase might be the better option.
No,
Wait,
no, I
you
hate to
thought
say
Flynn-
this, but we can't. Can we click on Clint's face instead?
I have...
On Duke's face?
Yeah, Duke's face.
I'm clicking.
Fuck.
Now wait a minute, I want to hold a few things here. Pause. First of all, everybody listen to what's happening in the background.
Yep, no, I
Can't hear anything.
Yeah, you thought
Oh.
this thing allowed Chase to have choices? Why would Flynn be any different? We always heard the hum with Chase, but now we get to hear it with Flynn. Oh man.
So now Flynn's possessed.
Shit's gonna hit the fan.
We're
Been
gonna...
possessed since last episode.
Can we shoot Chase? This will be kind of fun.
Y'all are so quick to assume Chase is definitely, like, deserving of punishment.
I don't think so.
He was clearly possessed by something, and now we're possessed. I'm possessed by it.
Uh-huh. And I'm pointing this out as well. Remember, like, y'all are like, oh, Chase was an awful person. He betrayed Flynn. Yeah, remember that scene earlier with condemned Flynn. Did we have any other choices back then?
No.
Nope.
It's not our
Whatever is
choice.
here that's giving us these options doesn't want them to be able to actually talk this out and work things out.
So they're basically pushing the panic button on both of
Yeah,
them.
whatever is actually allowing us to make choices doesn't want this to resolve peacefully. Would you agree with that, Harry?
He might be making the cookies.
I am Harrison, I'm fat and stupid, and I agree with this message.
I do agree with this message. Also, Sebastian, you're a bitch. And your hair is long, and you can't make cookies as good as I do.
I can make cookies just as fine as you do. I just don't have any
Okay,
ingredients.
make cookies. Make
I
cookies,
don't have any
man.
fucking ingredients.
Exactly. Cry about it with your cookielessness.
Suck a fat cock, Harrison.
That sounds like the
Am I
sounds
gonna
of a
need to, like,
loser.
bleep things?
No. So what he just shouted is exactly what Flynn would say, so I think we keep it in.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm saying avoid escalating too much further beyond this. Also, I just want to say, this Thanksgiving, I'm planning on making some cinnamon butterscotch pie.
Aww, that's cute. It's a tortor.
Anyway, can I convince you guys that Condemned Flynn's the best choice? Or sorry, Condemned Chase is the best choice.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Sure.
fine. If I don't get any other options, yes.
Alright. So yeah, I'm thinking Condemned Chase.
Yeah, that's fine. That also works.
Okay.
Everyone's in agreement?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm starting to think that Condemned Chase might be better.
Hit go for Condemned Chase.
Just pick Condemned Chase.
Pretty sure he killed Sydney. Touch my head, my blood in my veins feeling cold.
So remember, Chase mentioned that basically he was like on mute for a long time in his life. He was used to this feeling. Flynn's not used to this feeling. He knows he just got fucked with.
Yup. It's as if the gravel beneath my feet is turning to quicksand. My mouth moves as if to say more, but I manage to bite my tongue. This just makes the pain worse. The fuck is happening? I can see Jenna covering her face with both paws, seemingly in disbelief that this really is happening. There's a few murmurs from the gathering. Michael looks back at us, seemingly distracted from whatever was in the desert that he was staring at.
You're talking about your little friend who drowned in the lake a decade ago?
Yeah.
Wow, kid.
Clicks his tongue, shaking his head at the bedraggled looking otter.
That's fucked up.
Chase starts to look at TJ again, as if on
Look
the
like
urge of
TJ.
breaking down. Look like TJ again, as if on the urge of breaking down to sobs. Seems to be alternating from angry, sad, and confused over and over again.
This ain't right how you guys are handling this, yeah? Duke, Flynn, Mayor Lady, you really need to fuck off.
Where?
We'll handle this.
I have to agree with Leo on this one because, have you noticed what they're actually about to suggest here?
Yeah.
They want to
Like that?
shoot. They want to shoot Chase in the face.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
We're
what?
gonna go small town justice on this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Sweep it on the rug.
Yeah.
I don't reckon I believe that. Man, Mike had a lot more lines than I thought on this route.
Yeah. Harrison, you fat lord.
Is that like your way of trying to summon Harry now?
Yes.
Napoleon Dynamite. Teeny, you fat lord, can get some dinner.
Exactly.
See, he's just upset because he doesn't have cookies and I do. Also, I
I'll
just put
fucking
them in
go
the
buy
oven.
them.
No, you
I
won't.
will.
You're a coward. You're a cookieless coward.
Alright.
You can't stand the cookiness.
Seb, there are like quick and easy bake cookies that you can get from like usually grocery stores and everything like that.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not gonna say a product line because I don't feel like giving them free advertisement, but
Fair.
there's plenty of them where basically you can just like add water or an egg. Just so you know, fun fact with a lot of those recipes, you don't even need to add the egg. You just need to add water.
Mhm. Yeah. I know that. I'm just...
I'm sorry,
I just
Alan.
don't have any of the things at my house right now.
I'm sorry, Alan. This is just how we talk to each other.
Oh, I know. I'm telling this to Seb because, like, I personally feel like even making those cookies is better than just buying them from the grocery store. That's why I'm giving this.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. I was gonna go out and buy baking supplies or like ready-to-bake cookies.
Okay, yeah. So that's better than like buying a box of like the pre-made ones.
Yeah, but if it's like from a store...
Unless it's from like the bakery.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Bakery stuff's good.
Sid died like 10 years ago. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No statute of limitations on murder.
Well, this sort of murder happened before. My grandpappy lived through this whole thing and stayed in town after.
Yeah, that's right. It happened weeks after the body was found.
Auntie rubs her thumb through the floral scarf, staring into the headlights of one of the old Jeeps.
The one in the mines. The air got all electric and fuzzy. Folks went out of their heads.
She's never talked about any of this before. How do you know that?
Brett gabbed about it a lot when you were a youngin', and even before you were born.
Dad.
The whole superstition was part of his justification for making a library and booking it. Or making like a library and booking it.
Yeah. Why don't you make like a tree and leave? Or wait, what was like the terrible version of that? That
Make
was
like a
Tree and leaf, yep.
Make like a library and
Book
book it.
it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to pick...
That's good.
Well, that and one other reason.
No wait, it's make like a tree and get out of here because I remember like they don't even have like the proper like leave.
Oh yeah.
Tree, get out of here. Try to ignore the last comment, still focusing on the increasingly tense stare down between Leo, Chase, and Duke. I'd heard Mom and Dad hated Echo, mainly the usual grumblings about godlessness. Any ailments they had were surely the fucking result of some latent sin.
Point is,
The ground beneath our feet is tainted soil, and rot and shaky loam.
Duke interrupts, but Auntie doesn't seem to mind.
I'm all in on this cult.
She's just frowning now, looking to the crowd of people. Scarves come undone due to all the fidgeting, and old scars she had beneath her visible, tattered scales replaced with pink splash.
It's more rotten in some places. Y'all know the ones. My grandpappy thought that 'cause they didn't catch the murderer, it planted some seeds in the bad dirt. But that ain't true.
Duke rubs a scab along his forehead, squeezing the cigarette so hard that the ash starts pouring out the other side like toothpaste.
They caught him all right. Then everything was okay for a while after they found him and he was killed.
The fuck does this have to do with Sydney? Duke continues, ignoring me.
So I don't know what it is. If it's murder or guilt, or not catching someone that did wrong.
I shake my head, I can't believe this shit.
So I'm just gonna cycle back to this. I gotta just say, it can't be murder and it can't be not catch someone who did something wrong, because Brian is the biggest piece of shit that's in evidence against both those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true.
Motherfucker has definitely murdered over 10 people, and that's definitely, and he wasn't caught for it, so that's definitely someone doing something wrong and not getting caught. But that didn't cause a hysteria, so something else is going on, Duke. Stupid motherfucker. I'm saying that as the person who voices your grandpa in our other playthrough. Fuck you, you shitty grandson.
One sec.
I mean, I can muster up more insults for my character's grandkid if you want.
It's okay, I'm good now. Shake my head. I can't believe this shit. Sid's not fucking haunting the town, you meth head and addled cunt.
But it started when you got here, so you gotta forgive me for wondering if one of you did something bad.
He was a fucking 9-year-old.
And brought that guilt back to this poisoned land to grow the seeds again.
Duke doesn't sound like himself at all. Not even his recently gray self. Still, though I don't want to admit it, I'm starting to have an idea of what Duke might be getting at. How this all fits into our history. Judging from the look on the gathered crowd's faces, the feeling appears mutual. There's murmured inquiries about what to do. Heather is still quietly sobbing, asking a group of people who ignore her why no one is helping Keith. Genevieve Sanders, a retired mail carrier from Peyton, mentions something about a lynching. Jenna's arms are crossed tight, her expression this sort of furrowed, indignant stare that slowly falters to upset confusion. TJ's next to her, one paw on her arm. I can barely hear him, but he keeps saying he's sorry over and over. Leo begins to tug at Chase, pulling him back in the direction of the van. Two begin to hurriedly walk before Auntie speaks up.
Stop.
I always had this vigilant desire, this idea, getting justice for what happened. Sid deserved as much, but now I can't say I'm feeling any catharsis or joy. Just this hollow rumbling from my insides that this ain't right. This can't be how we fix shit. Carl has his head down now, the ram actually acting small despite his burly proportions. I just want to move aside and tuck him under my arm and fuck off far away from here.
Get back over here.
Leo shakes his head.
We are not sticking around for your shitty speeches. We're leaving. Chase needs a doctor. Come on, guys.
He makes a beckoning motion to us. Jenna quickly shoves her phone in the purse, the Fennec visibly trying not to look at the body as she, TJ, Carl, and Dax head to the van. Just as I start to join them, I hear a clicking noise to my side. Horrible noise is deafening. I clutch the sides of my head and I crouch down. Glass shell casing falls and hits my leg. It's hot. Duke's pointing his pistol into the air. Our group stops in their tracks, TJ falling to the ground and covering his face. Heather's shrieking and screaming over and over again. Then suddenly, she stops. There's some flailing of movement from the group that was standing near her, like the dancing you see on raves. I look again. Can't see her anymore. Mike is gone too. Him and a few others scattered. I can faintly see the bat silhouette in the distance sprinting into the desert. What the fuck, Duke? Scream at the weasel.
Need to get their attention. For the mayor, yeah.
That's no fucking excuse. That shot could have come back down and killed somebody. Duke clutches the pistol limply in his grasp, seemingly uncaring of where he's pointing the loaded weapon as he twirls the wrist about.
It's a bit late for that now. Folk have been hurt already. And they'll continue to get hurt till we stop this.
I hear shouts of agreement from the remaining crowd. Auntie just nods, and I can't help but give her a dumbfounded look. Clutch my repeater close.
Fighters. Fighters got him. That right, Flynn?
She points to Chase. Yeah? Said a nest of them.
Duke.
She holds up a finger, fast walking back into the office without another word. Duke watches our group by the van. Everyone's quiet. His pistol is aimed up at the sky. After a minute, she returns with a piece of faded paper clutched in her hands. Some old-timey writing on both sides of it. She holds it up to Mark and Duke. Mark uses his cell phone as a light and begins to read, Duke lowering his gun. I can see Jenna moving by the edge of the fan. She's motioning towards me, then Duke. What does she want me to do? Disarm him? I'm gonna chop the wrist, then do it, I guess. I have to drop my repeater, though. Don't really want to risk that. At least not yet. Surprisingly, Chase speaks up.
What's it say?
Boy, I think you know what it says. You were rooting through our stuff and plucking all these records Thursday. James Hendricks, notice of death.
Carl visibly stiffens.
Guess what killed him? Spiders.
I step up, squinting at the paper. It's a notice of death, alright, for reference in an estate transfer. It's for James Hendricks, who passed away in 1913. Cause of death is listed as poisons, infection, Belside Tarantula.
Oh, so that means James Hendricks died 2 years before the smoke room takes place. Interesting.
Tarantula. Chase shifts uncomfortably. Chase's ass planted on some black widows. What does Carl's old great whatever have to do with this?
James Hendricks the First was a notorious sodomite, like Chase.
I sigh. What?
You say he was looking at this the other day?
He's working on a school project. Hell, that's why he's here. So claimed.
You sure about that?
Auntie seems to pry at my own niggling doubt. I look back at the pathetic-looking otter. He looks to me. And then Dax steps up.
Harry, this is Dax's big scene.
Walk on, Harrison.
Sorry, brought cookies out of oven. Hey,
Each stops just short of the body on the ground. Daxon straightens his posture, folding his hands behind his back.
Mr. Duke, I think you're making a lot of really interesting headway into how we can solve all this. You know, much better than just hiding out in our houses from rampant chaos and the like. But, Salem here.
He uneasily gestures toward the corpse on the towel. The boar's hollow eye socket is still staring at the stars above.
Whatever got him, I think stopping slash avoiding that should be priority number one. Because, I mean, I've only known Chase for about half a week, but he doesn't seem to be the sort of capable of this.
Kid, I've known Chase all my life, and I reckon something similar. By the end of the day, Chase didn't do this. It's what Chase did that did this. This town needs justice. Hell, that little Sydney kid needs justice. I'm gonna save all y'all. And make it so she leaves me all alone once and for all.
What was that?
That sound was probably Hannah and DJ's traffic.
Who leaves you alone?
Duke doesn't respond, instead raising his pistol. I can't tell who he's aiming at, his shaking paw. I need to do something, Jesus fuck.
Oh man.
Do nothing.
I don't get to. Cool.
I think we
Hear
should
me
do
out.
something.
Do nothing.
Okay, why do nothing? Because, I think do nothing is better.
Yeah, but that do nothing. It does something.
We should do something.
Flip a 3-sided coin, do nothing.
I was told that I could be anything. Instead, I chose to do nothing.
I stand there, and I can see Jenna beside the van looking at me pleadingly. Auntie's peering at me now, strange look on her face. This isn't right. I should do something. My head is killing me. Something's wrong. We're at the worst possible fucking time. Grit my teeth, concentrating on what's really happening. Duke says something I can't quite make out, and Daxton stammers back a retort.
Cookieson!
I've had visions of Chase too. Nothing that points toward that as a conclusion.
Leo slides Chase behind him, the wolf's ears pinned to his side of the head.
So, this doesn't affect the ending, but it is still interesting because we get to see how things play out.
So raise the reaper.
Yeah, if we raise the repeater, that means that we're immediately just saying fuck you, and we're pointing the gun at Duke, saying we're leaving now, fuck all this. Or we try and trust Daxton to defuse the situation.
I trust Daxton.
I kind of trust Daxton too, but he's...
I'm just glad that I have a choice. Trust Daxton.
Alright.
I don't hear any arguments from DJ about what would have been the canon option for Flynn to choose, so,
canon-wise, Flynn probably points his repeater at Duke and says, chill the fuck out.
Well, guess it looks like we're trusting Daxton then, huh?
That's the true canon answer. Sid's dad flashes in my mind. Hole in his head, the look in his eyes. Keep my rifle clutched across my chest, pointed downward. Dax.
Yeah?
He's staring wide-eyed at the gun in Duke's grasp, his blue hands in the air. You gonna elaborate?
Oh, yeah, hi.
Dax does this sort of awkward wave before slowly lowering his hand. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, I don't think this is right. Perhaps we can perceive our guilt of others at times in these sort of waking visions. You mentioned you see her. I don't presume to be knowing who her is, but it sounds like you've got some baggage too.
You're testing me something fierce. Move, kid.
Daxton flinches, and I gingerly take a few steps closer to the weasel.
We, needn't to put all that out in the open with the details. I'm just saying, to assume that all this is a cause by Chase here is perhaps overstating Chase's importance. And killing somebody, or even just letting him die, might be fueling the madness in hand. In my dreams, the ones with Chase in them, nothing's pointing towards some deep, unworldly call that he needs to perish. Even you, Miss Mayor, you can see the logic in that.
Auntie stands with her hands on her hips, lips pursed.
And what counters madness? Logic.
Daxton smiles uneasily.
Shoot them both!
Someone in the crowd yells. I step over and smack Duke.
I just want to share that genuinely Daxton was so close to convincing both the mayor and Duke maybe they were wrong, only for that fucker in the crowd to ruin it all.
Oh
my god.
Shut the fuck up! Step over and smack Duke's wrist, gun falling to gravel beneath.
You're dooming us, kid, and your friend's gonna get away with murder.
I scoff. Fuck you, Will. Now shut up. We're leaving. Daxton blinks, letting out a relieved sigh.
Thanks, Flynn.
I grunt in response. Monty moves over beside me, resting her hand on my shoulder.
Resting my hand on her shoulder. I look at her and ask,
Just let me make that up. Put it on my shoulder.
It's like, here, let me see your hand, Pop.
She grabs my hand. She goes, you put your left foot in, you take your left foot out.
This is not the right time, Monty.
Flynn, you can't make this decision for everyone. There's something wrong with you.
I can't believe you entertained this fucking meth-head's proposal. I used to think you were a good person, you know. Fuck that. Which trials it is. Spit on the ground. Auntie lowers her hand and begins to fidget with her scarf, her gaze shifting downcast.
Used to think us Moors were immune to all this sordid business. But I don't think you are. Not anymore. Be careful, Flynn.
Turns, walking back toward Mark, who was busy rewrapping Salem's body and bringing him inside.
So, I want to point this out. Remember back in Leo's route, when we... Oh, wait, no. Harry, was that detail discussed in Leo's route about the lizards and everything? Or am I misremembering
What about
that?
the lizards?
Them having some weird relationship with the hysteria, where like it seemed to really dislike them.
In Flynn's or in Leo's route, it's talked about
it's TJ's route that's more broad.
Well, in Leo's route, it's talked about the fact that Flynn knows more than he should. Mm-hmm. Like he just has knowledge that he shouldn't have, and it's never explained. And even the voice in the head's like, why is he here? This is not normal. And in TJ's route, the hysteria outright goes, like, don't trust Braxton, or whatever their family name is. Moore. They're all liars. Yeah, don't trust a Moore. They're all liars. All they do is lie.
So yeah, when his aunt saying, I used to think we were all immune from this sort of thing, but it seems you aren't anymore. There's something she's hinting at with that.
It's rare to see her look so uneasy, trying to run a shit town like Echo. You got a thick skin for shit crumbling around you, but nothing like this. Leo quickly helps Chase into the van. The rest of the gang follows.
And we finally did it. We made it to Sunday. Oh, hello, Flynn.
Okay, that was creepy.
Wait,
goodbye,
replay it. You don't see
Bye.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, woo!